Plantation Wife, 11/3/19. You know the type. She stares with eyes glittering malice. She cares little for your body, bumping and jarring it as she passes. She believes her path should be made clear, trotting the lane in expectation. She seethes at the beauty of your crown, your polished mahogany, your gentle curves. All features she's enamored with are noticed with the same keenness of eye as her man. Jealousy, pain wielded as a tool to turn him against you, if he already wasn't. Jealousy ensuing her to seek her self-uplifted man. Surely he will enact regulations to cast such a treasure before his lady's feet. Trampling in hate and rage, lightly lifting a pampered foot to sink the heel deep into the soft flesh of the neck. True, his pedestal may be fashioned from gleaming wood, setting him high on the judgment seat above all else. But hers was crafted from her mind. Yielding chocolate bodies cushion her seat, keeping her in lofty heights of protection. His angel, his Madonna, his helpless goddess that he cannot contaminate with his heathenistic desires. Dark, fetid, the smell of them alarming in its continued evolution of ghastly gruesomeness. Slim, yet curvaceous by design. She glares at the figure she longs for, sucking in and setting her teeth as well bone. Steals her breath. Someone will pay for her pain. Why should she have to endure such? The world is hers. All are to cater and attend her needs. She's a delicate flower. Fragile as the blue and white china cup she sips from in superiority. She only looks up from it to scold, to criticize, to chastise a being she sees less than. Unwittingly, she illustrates a truth she'd rather keep hidden. She wants more of them and less of herself. This is the way of things. It's how it should be. She isn't to have a care in the world. Eyes of a hawk. She peers at a stain blemishing her pedestal. Sharply, she calls to have it cleansed immediately. How can one reign over beasts with the blood of their bodies soiling her cushions and her very existence? These creatures were made to serve, alleviating her of all guilt and thoughts, feelings of wrongdoing on her part. Why should one feel anything but delight when the world is your oyster? Delicious things tinged with the salt of the waters they come from. Bathed in tears from those underfoot, she delights in the salty taste, having developed a taste for them as well. An aphrodisiac, a precursor to an already abundant spread that is life. She's dined like royalty for centuries. She's squeezed the very breath from her lungs, painted beauty into her face, and emptied her mind of everything for him. She lives for his pleasure, therefore finds pleasure in sharing his cruelty easily. Stripped bare, back flayed open, thrown in a hole or a box, strung up to twist in the wind like the last leaf clinging to a tree in autumn. Her teeth are brilliant diamonds, glittering at your pain. Her eyes sparkle at your demise. She's in ecstasy, though not the same as her master. For he is hers as well as the others. He rules over her as he rules over the land with an entitled hand. All is his. He's made it so. He freely takes as a monarch is wont, fertilizing the land with the only tool he's willing to put to work, an instrument he's only too happy to wield, pillaging intimate spaces unwelcome to him. He aims to spread his seed over vast territory. He aims to control more land, more bodies, more wealth. He slacks his lust with a weapon more ripping than the whip, more destructive. He finds pleasure in the destruction of his property, for it produces a far better yield than toiling in creation. More bodies, more pleasure, more wealth. A cycle he's fond of, and one of the only things he's willing to create. Writing is his right. Whatever is born of such force is mere inventory, a free addition for what was paid for at the auction block. She sees, she knows, the world is hers. But her man is rooting around the fields, sneaking between the doorways in the house. His work product filling both indoors and out. She takes her revenge with a smile for him and for her prey. With a blade, the whip, the ability to steal choice away. These instruments of wickedness have become her feast, and she is royalty. She will dine as often as she pleases. Plantation Wife, 11/3/19. Welcome to Princess Alyssa Poetry. Today's poem was written while reading The Confessions of Franny Langton. These thoughts have been in my head for quite some time, as I have experienced a lot as a Black female. And when you're in white spaces, particularly in the corporate office or the corporate world, a lot of those spaces are white spaces. There's not a lot of color. I was in advertising. But even if you're in other fields, when I did customer service work at Macy's and other places, there is typically a white person in a position that's over you. And those experiences, coupled with just being a confident Black woman walking around life, coupled with the fact that my mate is white, I experienced what I term the plantation wife more times than I would care to. But as an African American female, it's something that I've had to learn to deal with, to not let it affect me to where it damages my person, but also to know that I need to sometimes put on emotional armor when I'm maybe in a certain space or have a certain look on. So I experience the plantation wife often when I'm with my mate, when I have my hair in an afro, it's really big, or if I have a dark lip on, so I look a little edgy. So the plantation wife in that situation is usually when I have those looks and I'm with Ben, middle-aged white women glare at me, or they will just stare at me for long amounts of time that are just, very rude. When we're at meals, I've had a woman with her husband staring at me the entire meal for like over an hour, and it's just it makes me think of my ancestors working in the fields and in the homes where their bodies, were not their own, where they were continuously taken and stolen and beaten and broken and abused in so many horrific ways. And I know enough about slavery and the torture mechanisms, and I can't believe the things that people do to each other. And as I read more literature, I learn of more things, and this is how I express the feelings that information gives me. This is my therapy so that I can cope, and so I don't get angry at the world, because anger for me doesn't allow me to fulfill my destiny in the way that God has revealed to me. For me, I hold on to sadness, which pushes me forward to work for change. So I hope that you will reflect on this poem and read it a couple times, or watch it a couple times, to really take in some of the phrases used, and reflect on it and think in your life where you've witnessed a plantation wife, a white woman lording something over a Black person, or wielding her world-given power, not God-given, but world-given power over a person of color, particularly a Black female. And just look at society, you can see how the Black female is treated in various ways. And if you are white, I really encourage you to be the change, because so many people of color have been fighting to just exist, and you were born into this society that was created for you. So there's power there for you just for existing. So use your power to help others be able to live a life that's like yours. Just being able to I guess, not feeling that someone's out to get you, you know, to come after you. That's the best way I can put it, because there's that kind of like angst on various levels for Black people, because you always have to be on your guard because you don't know what you're going to have to deal with. And I try to stay as positive as possible and to not think about that, but I am human and trauma has been passed in my DNA, and you know, I am human. So I struggle with that too sometimes. So I hope that this poem blessed you. I hope that it encourages you to want to be better to each other. We're here for each other. We were created for each other. So let's treat each other the way we want to be treated, with love and respect, patience, kindness, gentleness, mercy. This world was created for all of us, and our society has changed it to only be for certain groups. But since a group of people created it to be such, that means we have the ability to change it and to create the world that we want. And I think that's exciting. So I hope you'll be excited to change this world with me. All right, friends. Until the next film. Bye.